Hi, Shelley from Spin Cushions here, Crochet Patterns by Shelley Husband. Today I'm going to show you how to make part 6 of Granny Square Academy, front post purl. She has some cool texture by doing some front post stitches. Now it's a good idea to have the written pattern with you when you're doing this one because it's a little bit more complicated than what we've done before. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start by attaching our yarn to our hook with a slip knot and chain 1. All of our round 1 stitches are going to be worked into that chain 1, chain 3 to represent our first stitch. Then we're just going to do trebles UK, doubles US. We're going to do 2 more before we do our first corner chain spaces. So 1, 2, chain 2, 3 more stitches, chain 2, 3 more stitches, chain 2, 3 more stitches. So we're going to have 4 groups of 3 stitches. So I'm sure you don't need to see me do that. It's just like the beginning of a traditional granny square. I'll just show you how to end this round after I've done all the stitches. Okay, 4 groups of 3 stitches. Now I'm going to end by chaining 1 and joining with a small stitch to the top of our 3rd chain. Double crochet UK turns single crochet US. So just pull a loop through to the front, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, round 2 starts with chain 3 as our starting chain, then a stitch over our joining stitch. Then we are going to skip the first stitch. So there's 3 stitches here. We're going to skip the first and the last. We're going to do a front post stitch around that middle stitch. So to do a front post stitch, yarn over, poke your hook down and up, so kind of underneath the post of that middle stitch. Pull a loop sideways, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Skip the last stitch and in the corner do 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches. I'll show you the front post again. Just a moment. 2 chain and 2 stitches to do our corner. Okay. So front post stitch, yarn over, poke your hook down and up, pull it to the side and pull it up a little bit. Otherwise you're going to get a dip along the side of your work. Skip the stitch and do our corner again. So I'll do that all the way around and show you the next bit. Okay, I've been all the way around. I have a front post stitch around the middle stitch of each one. So now I've done 2 stitches in the same space as our first stitch. Going to chain 1 and join with a stitch to the top of our 3rd chain. And we're off and running on the next round, round 3. So chain 3 to be our first stitch, stitch over the joining stitch in the big hole. Now we're going to do, there's 5 stitches along here. The first and last are going to have a stitch in them. The middle 3 will have a front post stitch around them. So start off by doing a stitch in the same loop that we joined up to. That one. Now 3 front post stitches. So under, pull it to the side, up, through 2, through 2. The next one is a front post stitch itself. It's nice and easy. It's already kind of sitting on top. And the last one down and up, loop through the side and up, through 2, through 2. Now the last one, it might be a bit harder to see, but just pull it aside, you work apart a bit and you'll see that P appear. That's where we do our last stitch. And then it's our corners, 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches, and the same all the way around. I will do that and show you the next bit. Okay, I've been all the way around, just need to do 2 stitches in the same space as our first stitches. And again, chain 1, join with a stitch to the top of our 3rd chain. Which is not usually this fiddly. It's just because I'm trying to do it through the camera and I'm having trouble. Okay. All right, next round, chain 3, starting chain, stitch over the joining stitch as normal. Now this time we've got 9 stitches along our side. We're going to do 3 front posts, 3 stitches in the stitch, then 3 front posts. So start with front post, 1, 2, 3. Now we have 1 in the next stitch, next 3 stitches, which are all front post stitches. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to end with 3 front post stitches. 1, 2, 3. And our corner is the same, 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches. I'll do that all the way around and show you the next round. Okay, this all the way around done. Just need to do 2 stitches where we started. 1, 2, chain 1, join with a stitch again. All right, the next round, round 5, is slightly different to what we've done before. So we're chain 3, starting chain, and we're only doing 1 stitch, chain 2, 1 stitch in the corners, so we don't do 1 over the joining stitch. We do a stitch in the next 2, in, not around, in, 1, 2. Then we do the same. Whoops. Then we do the same as what we did in the last round. 3 front posts, 3 in the stitches, 3 front posts. So 1. So again, these are around the previous front post stitches, so it should be relatively easy. 2, 3. Then in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then around the next 3 stitches, which were our front posts from last time. 1, 2, 3. Then we should have 2 stitches left over, and we do a stitch in each of them, and we do 1, 2. And our corner is 1 stitch, chain 2, 1 stitch, chain 2 and 1. Okay, I'll do that all the way around and show you the next part. Okay, all the way around done. I just need to do 1 more stitch where we did the first one. Chain 1 and join to the top with a stitch. And we're up to the second last round, round 6. We're going to chain 3 as our starting chain, and that's all we're going to do. Then we're going to do, a front post stitch around the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do a stitch in the next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, quite boring, 7, 8, and 9, which should be in the last front post stitch. We should have 3 stitches left, which we do, and we're going to do a front post stitch around those 3. 1, 2, 3. So we start and end with front post stitches, and the stitches in the middle are just into stitches, and our corner is 1 stitch, chain 2 and 1 stitch. So I'll do that same thing all the way around and show you the end. Okay, I've done all of my repeats, and I've done 1 stitch in the same space as our first ones. First one, and chain 1 and join with a stitch to the top of our 3rd chain. Now the last round is just our smallest stitch, double crochet UK, single crochet US, but we're going to have 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches in each corner. So 1 over the joining stitch, and if you have trouble finding that at the end, pop a stitch marker in so it's easy to find. So we've done 1 over the joining stitch, now we need to do 2. Now having so many stitches in the corner, it can make it hard to see your first stitch, so just pull them aside and everything should become clear. So the first one's going to be this loop we joined into, and then just 1 in every stitch. Sorry for bumping the tripod, try to make it still. Anyway, just stitch in every stitch in our corners, 2 stitches, chain 2, 2 stitches. So I will do that all the way around and show you the very end. Okay, I've been all the way around. I just need to do 2 stitches in the same space as our first ones. 1, 2, and this time I'm going to chain 2 and join with a slip stitch to that first stitch. Like that. Oops. A more awkward slip stitch you never did see. Right, there we go. Grab my scissors. And that is that. Front post purl is all done. Lovely texture. It's probably a bit hard to see in the video, but it's lovely texture. That's a nice thickness too. So there you go. Part 6 of Granny Square Academy. We're flying along. I hope you're enjoying it. If you don't know what Granny Square Academy is, head to my blog spincushions.com and look for the Granny Square Academy tab. And thanks very much. I'll see you soon. Bye.